find ways to let that stress come up off you.
Speaking of kids, though, so the idea, I said this a while ago in a couple of the episodes, but the idea, like I said, as a person who had a kid with my girl, my fiance.
Lucky you.
And I used to always say, whether before her or after her, I would never date somebody with kids. Like, it's just, even when I got a kid now, we break up today, I'm not dating nobody with
kids.
Yeah, no.
But you can't have kids.
Absolutely not. And I'm totally fine.
You got to
with
be a virgin.
I mean, I ain't say all that, but you got to just be someone that's too far. I
No, I want to hear it.
Can't have kids. That's dark. It's dark.
Oh, that is.
It's dark. It's dark. You say you want to hear it. It's
No,
dark.
that was crazy. We strike that from the record.
That's fair.
Jury would disregard.
Right, tube style. But but the idea, because I also understand all that can come with dating somebody with kids. Both sides, man, and women
found out.
Right. So let's talk about like the hurdles that may come with those type of blended family relationships. Of like, you know, when someone come with the package deal of course, the child is one thing, but also that relationship. Because you had that kid with somebody else, or whatever.
Yeah.
So what are some of your thoughts
So
on
I
that?
think, like I said this before, I feel like it's easier to date a woman with kids when the guy's just absent, right? Like if he just, like he got to make a choice. He can't be inconsistent. Like you can't be in and out. Like you either here or you not, because it got to be an adjustment. So I feel like if you dating a woman that has kids, you got to accept them as a package. Like most of the time we do this where we might be on a chick page and disregard the pics with the kids. Like, damn, she look good, whatever. Because nobody's thinking that far down, like in that stage or whatever. But at some point, the conversation has to be had within self before it's even had with her. Like, damn, like, is this something that I could deal with? Is this something, like, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't got kids, or if you do got kids, how would this blended family, you know, how would it mesh? Because now we're on a blended journey to make it work. All right, cool. Now I'm looking at the dynamics of the blended family. What is the baby dad, baby mom dynamic? Like, is this nigga not around at all? And it's like, I'm just walking into a situation where I'm the father figure. Is he in jail somewhere where it's like, is he somewhere where it's like, is you the reason he not around? Like, what is the back end dynamic as to the relationship? Or is it solid? Like, do y'all have some type of agreement where we just kind of keep the ball rolling, right? And it's like, that's like level one of dealing with it, because like that's the entry shit. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like the second level comes to play, like say the guy is around and they got a dynamic. Now it's adjusting, him also having to adjust to you, because when you a baby dad, you feel like you got certain jurisdiction because you kind of micro lead the situation because your kid is involved. And now having a man in the predicament, and it's like, oh, damn, this nigga is kind of, I got to learn how to operate within his program. So it's like when we the guy that's creating a program, we got to make sure that there is one and that we establish that dynamic and that law and order of like, look, I know whatever y'all have going on, you know, that's y'all dynamic, but this is how we doing things from this point forward.
That can be a lot for a lot of men to process.
It's a process, because a nigga used to having, I can do what I can say. It's like, no, you can't. Like, not no more. Like, one point you could because she was single or dating, and you still had to micromanage to make sure your kid was in the right. But now that there's a man here and we like solidified, you take a step back in that regard. We don't need none of your leadership, none of your suggestions, none of your advice. We don't need none of that. All we need you to do is be the best father you could be for your kid. You have no more jurisdiction in this situation. Then there's a level 3 to it where it's like,
when the kid is around y'all, you say, right?
Yeah. When the kid is whatever.
Right.
I can't tell you
No,
what to do with
so
kids.
you clear.
Yeah. When the kid is in our possession, when we have the kids, you don't have to worry about nothing there. We're going to do just as right as you probably would in your regard, and you just handle your BI. Then the other aspect to it, which most people don't take into account, is the relationship from you to the kid and a relationship from the kid to their dad, because sometimes kids could put the dad and you up against each other by just, let me tell you how cute, just bought me these sneakers. And it's like, if he ain't stepping up in certain ways, he could get insecure and feel like you doing too much. So it's like, it's so many different variables.
Like, he said I couldn't do this.
Well, I know we nipped that at level 2. Level 2, we nipped that. We have a conversation. Look, my rules is my rules. What happened in your household is your household. All due respect. I'm not trying to be your child's dad. I would never tell your kid to not do something you told him to do, or to do something you told him not to do. But when they in my crib, it's not going to be my dad said, because you don't run nothing and you don't pay nothing over it. Respectfully though, this ain't got to be. This is just like a man-to-man type conversation. But I think that going back to the woman component, which is like the level 4, where's her trauma at in the situation? Like, how does she feel about their dynamic? Is she still hurt and bitter? Not even romantically, but just salty.
Right.
Just salty at the fact that he ain't doing this, or it's salty at the fact that, you know, maybe she do got some underlying feelings that never was addressed or resolved. And it's like, that shit could be a lot, bro. And it's like,
sure,
you gotta know what the fuck you signing up for before you sign up for it, because you don't want to walk into a blindside situation. It's imperative to understand their dynamic. Most of y'all only focus on one element of it. Is y'all still fucking?
Right.
That's the least important element, because honestly, like that could surface or it might never surface. Who gives a fuck? But all the other variables that come with it is the things that y'all don't account for. Okay, how are we going to handle scheduling? You know what I mean? How are we going to handle discipline? How are we going to handle if we want to get up and move to another state? How are we going to handle if something, you follow what I'm saying? So these are other layers and aspects to the conversation about co-parenting and blending a family that you gotta know going into it. Or, just say, you know what? Everything that nigga just said, I don't want to deal with none of that. And that's the very reason why I don't want to deal with a woman with kids.
And be like you, because
take the Q route.
Yeah, because that's so much. Nothing you said was wrong.
No,
nothing
true.
you said was invalid.
It's a lot,
but it's just so much. And
it's a lot.
Ladies, I can give you guys some advice. Let's go to the relationship coach. This couch over here. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say go back to the baby dad under any circumstance. I ain't gonna say that. But no, I definitely understand that. If me and my girl are unfortunate enough to not last forever till death do us part, as they say, whatever. Then I gotta get in these trenches again. These streets. It's like, yeah. It's like it's like. I can't be in a relationship with anybody with a kid. I just can't do it. Like, we can do anything beneath that.
Yeah.
For sure. Till no end.
Y'all can fuck.
Absolutely.
Y'all can fucking chill.
For sure.
But everything beyond that.
Yeah, as soon as you say, well, can you pick up who?
No, but
I got one kid.
Did your mom not instill that into you by saying like, you better not take care of another woman's, another
actually,
man's
not necessarily.
Kids.
So my mom, again, Lena,
she's always trying to protect your mom.
She is special.
Throw her ass under the bus.
No,
where you belong, Miss Lena. You go here. Like you keep trying to protect her. Tell the truth.
Under the couch.
Throw her to the fucking couch.
But no, I always told you about. She a special breed, so she always gonna take responsibility. Again, my stepdad came in straight and that's my son. I'm like, nigga, you a dick here. Fuck, I got my own dad. So I ain't.
Meanwhile, that nigga in Chicago.
Yeah, I ain't
with his bitches. Nigga, give a fuck about.
But my mom, she drew that thin, clear line, however you want to say it, because my stepdad had kids, and she was never like the evil godmother type vibe. Fuck your kids, they could take the scrapes off the plate. But it definitely was very clear, like. They my kids. She has never in life said she had 3 kids, including me. Never in life would she say she had daughters. Ever. It's like, no, I go take them to get their hair done, because, all right, cool. They got bum-ass bags from their mom, so I buy them a new bag or some shit. Their hair was fucked up because your mom can't do it. She going to throw smut in while she approving shit. It's smut. My mom's special breed, of course, like I said. But in the day, it said, oh, Lena, we didn't tell me you had daughters. Excuse me?
Who has daughters?
No, that's Andre kids. That's Andre daughters. That's special breed. So I was under that tutelage. So I'd rather just not even enter that space though.
It's weird.
Self-awareness is key in all situations.
I'm not against the blended family. I've had one.
Right.
I understand the opposite perspective now because every man is not willing to or even capable of dealing with certain hurdles that comes about. But I'm just telling you got to consider that shit because you got to make an informed decision. Like we have the ability to have foresight. We can see down the future. Like we're not ruled by our emotions. So it's not like, I feel like this, I feel like that. Every moment is changing. It's like I can pretty much lock in on what I see and what I want. So use that ability to hone in on the fact like, am I willing to step in the front? Because everything that comes with her comes with her. So that means whatever traumas, whatever kids, whatever thing that she's walking into the situation with, that shit is coming with her. Like, it's no detachment. Like, motherfuckers want to date her, but like, I date you, but I don't want nothing to do with it. It's like, no, like, you got to understand everything or just leave it at what it is. Like you said, we could just fuck around.
Not to that level.
Just don't never let it get to that level.
That's how kids also suffer, and that's never good.
I mean, no, they suffer if that's a forever thing because they need the figure.
No,
but
I'm
if
saying,
it's just a temporary thing.
No, I'm saying, let's say you want to take it to a serious level, but you don't want to embrace all that come with her.
Oh, yeah, no, they suffer.
Kids
100%.
That's
100%. Yeah, because now they feel neglected, and it's like, it should never be like that because at the end of the day, kids I ain't gonna say the innocent because them little motherfuckers got shit with them. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, they ain't asked to be in that situation, nor do they act to be here. So we got to consider that.
And to even be my perspective be complete, just because I may not date somebody with kids, don't mean that my girl won't. So I also got to also understand that if we don't make it forever, then it's like I still got to be prepared for if she the other side of the blended family dynamic or whatever, because you can't avoid it. If you got kids, y'all don't make it work, then no matter what, it's gonna come down that road.
No, that's a fact. And it's like, I don't know, I never was like the guy that, like, when none of my exes or none of my baby, I was never like I never was invested beyond when, like, it was like I don't care, like, my kids is cool, I don't give a fuck what you do, like, you follow what I'm saying? That's never was my business. We didn't have kids out of, like, in your situation, it was like, it wasn't like that. So it was like that made it, I guess, easier for me because I never was emotionally invested. It was just like, all right, cool, like, let's figure this part out because we here now, and like I gotta mature and grow and learn how to do these things. And it's like, that's cool. But it's like, even from a relationship standpoint, when I like was done with the chicks I was with, it wasn't like I'm like, oh, who she dealing with next? Or, I was like, no, like, all right, our contract expires, lease is up. I'm on to the next. Like, it's like, it is what it is. Like,
please buy my contract. Please. Like,
but I can see how you being in an intentional space of we about to get married. If it don't work, it's like I'm still halfway, might be feeling a way about that. Like, so I can only imagine the male's perspective and position when a new nigga pop up and he that nigga. Like, you know, he ain't walking into, he ain't a bullshit nigga. It's like, damn, this nigga taking care of my kid. He doing this, he trying to replace me. No, fuck that. Like, I can see where the frustration can be built. But as a man, you kind of got to understand, like, the moment it don't work with you and her, that's a realistic, that's not fuck a possibility. It's inevitable. Nigga, it's inevitable. Like, if you sitting here thinking this woman gonna have a kid with you and never fuck with somebody seriously after that again, you delusional, because it's inevitable. It's
that
like,
means always an upgrade, though.
That's what's the crazy part.
Down to the downgrade. It's like, oh, yeah, like, you never got better than me. Gotcha, bitch.
Motherfucker always, you like almost looking forward to that. Nigga sizing you up. Like, I hope this nigga, I'm looking at this motherfucker, oh yeah, this is a downgrade.